Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ultimate Racing 2D2 Championship, the F1 2025 sim in the game. So, qualifying happened. Piastri, top of the board. You see the whole grid here. If you want to follow it live, go to our Instagram. It will be linked down in the bio. I think I say it in the video too. But that's where you can see all the live updates, everything. But this is the first race of the season, the Australian Grand Prix, so sit back, relax, watch how the race unfolds. Hope you enjoy. The Formula One season is about to be underway with the 5 relays are on, and they're underway. Oscar Piastri starting on pole, gets a decent getaway over Charles Leclerc. George Russell gets hit in the background there by Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari, but Oscar Piastri controls the pace. Liam Lawson up to 4th, fighting for 3rd, started 5th, I believe, all the way up to 4th or 3rd already on Lando Norris. Has fallen down the order, but Oscar Piastri has just lost the lead from Charles Leclerc as Liam Lawson is looking to take away that second place. Let's look through the field now. Carlos Sainz from, I believe, 12th has made his way all the way into 5th place in the Williams. Great start from him. Max Verstappen had a very poor qualifying. Started 8th, only 7th. Oliver Behrman, who out-qualified Max, all the way in 13th. So not great for him. Liam Lawson has lost the position to Carlos Sainz, who's on the podium for the Williams. What the heck? From 12th in 3 laps, Carlos Sainz has made his way from 12th to 3rd in a Williams car, while his teammate is in dead last place, Alexander Albon. George Russell now going for a move, though. Fernando Alonso not too far behind in the Aston Martin. George Russell just goes right on around him. He might even go for second here. Down the inside. No, he's not going to make it. As it stands, the top 10. Charles Leclerc, Piastri, Russell, Sainz, Lawson, Alonso. Battle for 7th on Lando and Kimi Antonelli. Stroll and Lewis Hamilton, as Max Verstappen has fallen outside of the points. Liam Lawson now going around George Russell and Sainz, and now going for second on Oscar Piastri, just goes right on around him. This is Oscar Piastri's home race, and this is as close to a home race that Liam Lawson is going to get. But just an unbelievable start from Max Verstappen, down to 17th into the pits. Now he's just trying to do anything to make back that lost time. But it could be no points here for Max Verstappen in this first round of the season. Charles Leclerc holding the pace out front, though. Russell just went for a move on Piastri in 3rd. Lando's trying to go for a move on Sainz. Sainz had a great start, but Lando just goes around him, down to 6th now. And rookie Hadjar, who started 17th, now up to 9th now because of that just incident right there. But going possibly for a move on the oldest guy in the field, Fernando Alonso. Now this is for 10th. That's Gabriel Bortoleto going up into 10th. He's getting a point there for them, or for Sauber, and Fernando into the pits. Battles all around the track. This is the biggest battle, though, for 8th place. Gabriel Bortoleto just drives right on around Isaac Hadjar. Lewis Hamilton now out of the points. This is huge names out of the points, and huge name in the points. Multiple rookies in the points. And Bortoleto now into the pits on those soft tires. And that was actually Oscar Piastri, I believe, in the pits. And Bortoleto, I already said. Piastri leaves the pits in 8th place. Bortoleto leaves the pits in 9th place on newer tires. What can Bortoleto do? Battle for 4th in the teammates here. Kimi Andrea. He's going to... Oh, man. Go down the... No. Oh! wreck there. What the heck? Tried to go into the pits. I'm not sure what just happened with Kimi, though. Little mistake there. Little spin coming into the pits. He makes it, though, eventually. Russell came into the pits, but he's behind Bortoletto. Bortoletto, with the strategy, is currently, if it were to stand right now, he would currently be in 4th place. But Russell going around the outside in the better Mercedes there. Now 7th place for Bortoletto. Hadjar and Piastri were just fighting there, but Hadjar pulls into the pits. Let's see where Hadjar's going to get out of the pits there. In the points, I would believe. Possibly. Yeah, in the points. Just behind Alex Albon, who has not come into the pits yet. But here's the problem. Is Max Verstappen going to make up the time that he lost at the start there? Or is he just going to stay in 15th the whole race? We're not sure. Leader Liam Lawson into the pits. Or, sorry. Leader Charles Leclerc in the pits, sorry. And he's going to come out well ahead of Oscar Piastri on the newer tires. So, the only two at the front who have not pit, Carlos Sainz and Liam Lawson. The only other guy not to pit just came into the pits right now, Alexander Albon. So, the grid you're looking at right now, everybody that's in the points right now is going to be in the points come the end of the race. So, we'll see here. Liam Lawson and Carlos Sainz. Liam Lawson stops Sainz from coming into the pits. And Sainz is going to have to come in next lap. Just losing all that time in the pit lane. Oh, wow. He didn't slow down there. I'm not sure what just happened. That's drama all around for Liam Lawson, who is now getting Carlos Sainz to hold up everybody. He's going to have to come in. Now another mistake there. Just like we saw Kimi Andrea, Carlos Sainz just make the same mistake coming into the pits. So that's going to lose him so much time. That's going to put Lance Stroll now in the points. It's going to put possibly Kimi back into the points. Again, after that mistake. Max Verstappen has not made another pit stop. He just made another pit stop and is now in dead last place. Not something you want to see from Max Verstappen. But the battle for the lead is on. Max Verstappen is almost lapped here. Charles Leclerc going to go down the inside of Liam Lawson. Almost made it stick. But Max Verstappen, look, he's about to be the first lap car of the season to his teammate, Liam Lawson. I don't know what's going on with that Red Bull there. But we'll have to listen in and see if he's reporting a problem. But Liam Lawson, as we just saw Oscar Piastri go into the pits, I just missed that. But Liam Lawson about to lap his teammate Max Verstappen, who seems to have some sort of issue. I don't know. Maybe he'll race the rest of the race like that. But Bortoletto, 5th place. Isaac Hadjar, Norris, Stroll in the points. Carlos Sainz just barely hanging on to the last point over Pierre Gasly. Andrea Antonelli trying to go for the last point there as well. Lance Stroll into the pits with Fernando Alonso. Both Aston Martins coming into the pits this lap. Lance Stroll is not going to hold on to the last point, but he's going to have the newer tires over Carlos Sainz. But Antonelli has something to prove after that mistake earlier in the race. I just heard over the radio, Max Verstappen is having an engine issue. It's slowing down his engine much slower than it should be. This close in the race, you remember last year in Australia as well had an engine issue. Lewis Hamilton may be having a very similar problem in last place. The battle for second is on, though. Russell down the inside. He makes that pretty well. But yeah, Max Verstappen, engine issue in the first race. You can see him holding up Lewis Hamilton there. That's gotta suck. had a poor qualifying in 8th place behind his teammate. He was ahead of his teammate every single session except for the last one, except for the qualifying 3, and now has an engine issue in the race. But this is for the lead. Russell trying to go for it on Lawson, not gonna make it. Go for another go. Russell down the inside for the lead. Not going to make it happen again. Around the outside now. He's going for 3 moves. This one's going to be the one that sticks in the DRS zone. But this is the time where lap traffic starts to make a play in this race. Russell into the pits. Lawson will not come into the pits. Charles Leclerc will not come into the pits. Oscar Piastri has just recently came into the pits. Let's see where he's going to head. Ahead of George Russell, he's not, but he is close to George Russell. He's going to go for a move. This is for the net race lead, and Oscar Piastri does make it stick, but can he hold him off on the older tires? They're coming up on a lap car. Jack Doohan. Oscar Piastri going with the line of Doohan. No. Going to go past him, and he's pulling away from Russell. Currently the fastest lap. Doesn't award a point anymore this season. We have got rid of that in F2 and F3 as well, as you might have been able to see. But currently the fastest man on the track is Liam Lawson. Lance Stroll. He was, if you go see our Instagram story, go follow our Instagram. Should be linked in the bio. Lance Stroll was dead last in every single session by more than 2/10, but is now fighting for the last point. He's having a great race, and Alexander Albon makes the same mistake that multiple people have done. It just seems like that pit lane's catching everybody off guard. And Alex Albon now makes the same mistake. There might have even been more people I haven't even caught making that mistake. Here's Fernando Alonso in this Aston Martin car, who hasn't really been good all season. Up to, well, in preseason testing at least. Up to this point. But made it into Q3. And I believe qualified 8th or 9th. Oh, Alexander Albon having an issue. Issue for Alexander Albon. There's no safety cars. I can't freaking get to him. Alex Albon. They're all just stuck behind him. I don't know what the heck these guys are doing. Here, let's get to him. He's dead last place. Here, I'm going to have to change his lines here because he is holding everybody up. Not sure what just happened. I believe an engine blowout from him. Max Verstappen comes to the pits at the same time. What is happening with Alexander Albon right now? I don't know. But Alex Albon now enters the race back 30 seconds behind the next car. So I don't know how much that affected anything, but here's the battle for third. Yeah, I don't know what the hell just happened with Alexander Albon there. Interesting stuff. Don't think that affected too much. Maybe that affected Lando's race a bit, but hopefully not a terrible amount. He's still in the points. Anyways, let's go back to the battle. Gabriel Bortoleto in the Sauber. Sauber scored, I think, 6 points total last season. Oscar Piastri makes the same mistake. What is going on in this race? Everybody is making this mistake. You'd think there's freaking water on the track everywhere if everybody's making this mistake. But no. So here's the battle for 7th. should be the race lead. But no. Russell into the pits, so some people can take the pits normally. Some people can't, apparently. But all of this madness is going to put the Sauber of Gabriel Bortoleto into second place. No, third place. But he's going to be going for second place. On, albeit on older tires, but... But Isaac Hadjar, two rookies, doing an amazing job. These guys were 1-2 in the F2 standings. Now, Isaac Hadjar going for the third place. Can he make it stick? I think Bortoleto's coming in this time, and Hadjar does the same thing. I don't know what is going on. All of my test runs of this race, none of them did any of this. Now everybody's doing it this race. But they're going to come out in... Bortoleto's going to come out in 5th. Hadjar's going to come out in 8th behind Lando Norris. Lawson, though, controlling the gap. 5 seconds ahead of the next car, which is George Russell. But just Russell's trying to catch it up. Leclerc going for third on Alonso, trying to get another podium with Adrian Newey as their car designer now. Can this team be better this season? We see Lance Stroll in 10th place, so they're going to get a double point. Possibly one of the only teams to get a double point other than McLaren. Lawson now into the pits. Where is he going to end up? Russell ahead of him. Fernando Alonso could possibly be ahead of him. No, Lawson's going to come out in second place. I think Leclerc may have made the same mistake as everybody else because he is way further back than he probably should be. Bortoleto, Piastri trying to catch back up after also making that mistake. Verstappen now making back up the time that he lost. He is now in 17th place, so possibly the engine got fixed. Who knows? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. But Bortoleto now going for third place on Fernando Alonso. Can Bortoleto on his first race for Sauber get a podium? Wow, this would be a story and a half. Everybody's making mistakes. Everybody's losing their engines. And it has just opened the curtain for these two rookies, Isaac Hadjar and especially F2 champion Gabriel Bortoleto, to go for this podium. And he's going to do it if he holds his own now. Leclerc into the pits. He's going to come out in, I believe, 7th place, just behind Hadjar, maybe just ahead of Hadjar. Well, basically neck and neck with Hadjar. 6th place. Leclerc needs to make up this time. I believe this race is going to end with probably a 5 or 6 stop. Russell now with the fastest lap of the race, ahead of Liam Lawson and Bortoleto, who's not even on that old of tires and is catching up to Liam Lawson for second. We got to get this guy into a better car. Well, it seems like this car is much better than last season at least. Nico Hülkenberg only in 17th. But now going for second place, Gabriel Bortoleto on Liam Lawson. You can check the best lap times here. He's about to go for the win. He is the 3rd fastest lap of the race. Now has the 2nd fastest lap of the race. He tied the fastest lap. Just that lap. Just tied the fastest lap of the race, which went to George Russell. And now going for the win in his first race, Gabriel Bortoleto. I don't think this is going to be a common occurrence. Sauber very much sucked in the preseason practice. Even Gabriel Bortoleto started last place. Dead last place. So, unless he was sandbagging in qualifying, there goes Liam Lawson. No, he's going to actually stick him out. Unless for some reason they were sandbagging in a real session, I don't think the Sauber car has 2nd place speed. I think Bortoleto's just taking advantage of everybody else's issues. But he's basically locked onto a podium right now. If he can stay ahead of Leclerc after this pit stop, we're going to watch Leclerc here as Bortoleto just went into the pits. Now, they do have the first pit box. Leclerc gonna go around the outside of Bortoleto, steal that third place from him, but Bortoleto on the newer tires could possibly have something to say to Leclerc about it. Well, Leclerc is going very quickly now, actually. Fernando Alonso just behind them, too, on new tires. So Bortoleto could be at risk to Fernando Alonso. But Leclerc is pulling away from Bortoleto, so maybe showing a little bit more of that speed that this car really has, as opposed to being a podium contender. Fernando Alonso now goes for 4th on him. The only other guy I can see passing him is probably Oscar Piastri. No, Fernando Alonso actually just got done by Bortoleto completely. The battle for the lead, though, is on. No, it is not, because George Russell pulls into the pits. Leclerc, Bortoleto, Fernando Alonso lost lots of time on that lap. Bortoleto's last lap was a... Oh, Russell, this is for the lead. Oh, wow. So Bortoleto just passed Russell. Obviously, did kind of push him in the grass a little bit. Let's see, though. Is Russell really going to let Bortoleto get away with that? Probably not. I would hope not. But here he comes, Russell on Bortoleto. Is he going to get it? Nope. Not this time around. Probably on this straightaway. Round the outside. Now down the inside on this corner. He's going to get it done. He's going to chase after Charles Leclerc. Bortoleto coming back. No. Russell's going to say, no, it's not going to happen. But it is going to happen, though. Because Bortoleto is really showing the pace that he brings to teams. Last season, absolutely, he went from, I believe, he went from last to first in the Italian sprint race, I think. It was either the sprint or the feature. And now doing it in the top level of racing. Oh, and Pierre Gasly does the same mistake again. Oh, man, everybody's having issues at that pit lane. But this is the battle for almost the lead. Oh, my goodness, look at this. 4 cars stacked up. Behrman, Stroll, Verstappen, Hulkenberg, Ocon almost up there in that mix. Liam Lawson trying to just get around it. No, he's going to come into the pits. But all of this would leave Bortoleto, Gabriel Bortoleto, in his first ever Formula 1 race. He is going to be in the lead of a Grand Prix. He hasn't led a lap yet because that last lap was still led by Liam Lawson in the pit lane. But could he lead his first lap of his career in his first race and possibly get even a podium, maybe even fight for a win in his first race? This would be shades of Lewis Hamilton doing it in his first, Gabriel Bortoleto says, no, I'm not going to lead a lap in my first Formula 1 race, and peels into the pits. Does not lead that lap. But he is going to come out of the pits in 4th place still with Piastri. The closest car to him, 4 seconds back on much older tires. So Bortoleto still has a chance at this 4th, 3rd, 2nd, even maybe even first if he gets real lucky. Leclerc a bit further back. Not what one I guess would have wanted to see from his race. He did come ahead. He did get ahead of Bortoleto, who he was behind before the pit stop. So he did pull away from that. But still, unbelievable race. No matter how where Bortoleto finishes in this top 4, I think a top 4 in your first race is pretty respectable. But let's talk about Liam Lawson, though, who Max Verstappen having an engine issue. Maybe he's a little concerned about that, but I wouldn't be concerned about it right now. I would just be concerned about winning. 3 seconds ahead of the next car in Charles Leclerc. He's now probably 7 seconds ahead of the car that he's worried about, Gabriel Bortoleto. Liam Lawson is controlling this race, trying to limit damage control from Red Bull's Max Verstappen having that issue. But Leclerc maybe say, no, I want this race win. I got this second place in the qualifying. I want this race win. Liam Lawson defending. Very clean battle. Lewis Hamilton does the same thing. Again, I believe. So where's Leclerc going to end up? Is he going to end up ahead of Gabriel Bortoleto? He is. So Leclerc does end up ahead of Bortoleto on newer tires with 9 to go. So Leclerc can make it to the end of those mediums. I don't know if he's going to be doing that all the way, but he can make it to the end of these mediums. Liam Lawson deciding not to come in yet. George Russell as well deciding not to come in yet. This is all up to Liam Lawson. If he does pit, he would end up with Charles Leclerc, who is in heaps of traffic right now with many people. Lance Stroll holding up many, many people. Alexander Albon just following behind Stroll. He had that issue earlier in the race. He is trying to catch back up. Obviously, you can't make up a 30-second gap in, 40 laps, 20 minutes. So he has cut the gap down to 20 seconds. But with Liam Lawson and George Russell just pit, that's going to put Charles Leclerc in the race lead on the newer tires. Liam Lawson as well on newer tires. This could be game over for Bortoleto with the podium on his first race. Like I said, I think even a 4th place on your first race would be very, very respectable. But here's the battle for 3rd. Goes right on around him. Not much trouble put up by Bortoleto there. I think he's just happy to be here. Happy to go from 20th to 4th, no matter if it's a 3rd or a 2nd. But Leclerc is the biggest winner of this. Now, he can make it to the end of this race on these mediums. But will he make it to the end of this race to the point where someone like Russell, doesn't catch up on these new softs? Liam Lawson's putting up quite a big deal right now. But no, Russell's just going to go around him and go right around Stroll. So there's 0 cars in between George Russell and Charles Leclerc right now. The only problem is the gap, which is now down to 1.7. It was 2 seconds at the start of this lap. 1.5. 1.3. You see Charles Leclerc right there. Russell is catching. Now 0.6. This could be the new fastest lap of the race. It is. George Russell does a 29.78, which is 0.2 faster than the next fastest lap, which I believe belongs to Bortoleto. Bortoleto into the pits. Alonso into the pits. Piastri, Sainz into the pits as well. Everybody's coming into the pits for new softs. It is the time for that. But Russell, a little bit of a slower lap that time. Now the gap back up to 1.4. Can Charles Leclerc do it? Can he lead the championship? Can he do it for Ferrari? With Lewis Hamilton, I believe, also having an issue in that Ferrari car. Can he do it? Can Charles Leclerc also limit the damage for Ferrari? Only time can tell. George Russell trying to limit the damage for Mercedes as well. With Andrea Kimi Antonelli having, I believe, the same issue that many people did at the start of this race. .89. The gap for Charles Leclerc to George Russell. 1.1. Leclerc pulling back out. pulling the gap back out. .3, 2 laps to go in the Australian Grand Prix, the first race of the Formula One season. George Russell, I don't think he's going to do it. I think his tires are about to be worse than Charles Leclerc's mediums. And I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think it's going to be enough for Leclerc, or for Russell. Final lap of the Australian Grand Prix. Leclerc has pretty much dominated the whole race. The strategy has been on point, and everything has gone his way. The final sector coming up. Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque driver, he's going to come out into the final sector. He's going to do it. Yeah, Russell's not going to catch him by the end. Charles Leclerc wins the Australian Grand Prix. Russell, third. Liam Lawson in his first race of Red Bull, going to come third. And Bortoleto, the rookie, holds fourth in the Sauber. Then comes Fernando Alonso, Piastri right behind. Hadjar, another rookie, in 7th place. And Carlos Sainz for Williams finishes the race in 8th. Lando Norris, terrible race in 9th place. And for the final point, it's going to be Lance Stroll. Here is the finishing results. Charles Leclerc wins the Australian Grand Prix. George Russell second, Liam Lawson third. Bortoleto fourth. Fernando Alonso fifth. Piastri, Hadjar, Sainz 6th, 7th, 8th. Lando Norris 9th. Lance Stroll 10th. Ocon 11th. Kimi Antonelli 12th. Pierre Gasly 13th. Yuki Tsunoda 14th. Jack Doohan 15th. Max Verstappen 16th. Oliver Behrman 17th. Nico Hulkenberg 18th. Lewis Hamilton 19th. And Alex Albon rounds out the field. Here are the drivers and constructors standings. So only 2 teams got both their drivers in to the points, and that would be Aston Martin and McLaren. The rest of the teams only got 1 driver. So 8 teams scored that race. So that makes 8 constructors already with points. The only ones with no points, Haas and Alpine. So that'll do it for the race. Thank you guys if you stuck around to the end of the race. I know Bortoleto getting 4th is a little unrealistic. There's nothing I can really do about that. And I know the driver spinning out of the pits was a little weird, but it's okay. They shouldn't have that problem next weekend. I'll probably debuff Bortoleto a little because 4th place is a little ridiculous. But if you guys enjoyed, go check out the Instagram for live updates of the races. With that being said, subscribe, like, go look at this spreadsheet as there are also live points on there. And see you guys later.